shit is squeamish. Friday nights be gleaming. We stay hype with guys like no matter what, cause we queenin'. Hey, we queenin'. We queenin'. When them other chicks be scheming, we stay hype cause we queenin'.
With them queens and I'm feeling, throw them hands up. Got a crown on my head, no we can be touched.
Hey.
What's good, Kansas City and beyond?
What's up, Night Hypers?
It is the Night Hype Show.
Yes, it
podcast
is.
show starring me, your hype homegirl, #swag.
And DJ Missy E.
KCPTA nominated.
Come on now. First KCPCA.
Okay.
Come on now.
Listen here. I had to hype her up. It's season 3. I almost said season 3.
Yes.
Episode 2.
Come on.
So shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me and my boo.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Woo, woo, woo. We create our own studio.
And we are in the new stew.
New stew, once again, straight off the legendary Truth.
Yes.
People Minded Cafe. I be wanting to call it Heavenly Minded.
Hey, but equally.
But once again, we ain't alone. I love these. I love when we're not alone. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the company. But it
For
just
sure.
makes it so much more awesome when we have other people here with us.
Yes.
So please welcome to the show Miss Credit Sense herself,
Mm-hmm.
Miss MarilynAshley.
Yay.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited.
Man, we were trying to get you on last season,
I know,
too,
right?
but then the
Yes.
pandemic hit.
Coronavirus.
And it was real.
Girl.
It was.
And it's
Still
still real.
is.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
It is still dang real.
So everything happens in time and in season, though. So I'm super excited to
That's
be
right.
here with you guys today, though.
Yes, we're
Thank
glad
you
to get
so
you on the
much.
show. That's awesome. And we got a lot to talk about. You got a lot of stuff going on, and especially when it comes to credit,
Yes.
because a lot of people have some issues with credit and they don't
I
understand
I
it.
want to say more than credit. I feel like you're like what is just a live life
Mhm.
better person.
Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
what the word would be,
Yes,
but
she is.
like maybe a life influencer.
Oh,
Like,
yo,
Honestly,
okay.
when I talk to her, I feel
Wow.
like she is a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
She's a freaking
Coach,
therapist.
coach, okay.
Like, she's just so easy to talk to, and
Yeah.
she's so easy to communicate with people that
Okay.
people understand. You know what's
So
what's
I
going
just
on.
didn't want to, I wanted to introduce you the right way.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. But
Yes.
you know what? I appreciate that. Like seriously. And I know when 2 or 3 are gathered
That's
together, right? And we
Mhm.
all have a similar and same agenda,
That's
right?
correct.
For our people. I think we're empowered. And that just
Mhm.
that just really did something for me. You guys speaking that life to me.
Come on now.
I was totally
Because you
not
wear a
expecting
lot
that.
of hats.
And
Right, you
man,
But I like that's the
Thank
word I was
you.
looking for. Empowerment.
Mhm.
Yes.
You are empowered. So of course, with that being said, one of the big things that I feel like is lacking in the African American community is financial empowerment.
okay.
Financial intelligence
Yes.
or what have you,
Okay.
the right word. So what would you say coming from a credit, analyst, specialist, credit
Okay.
specialist?
Right.
What would you say in regards to that?
So I'm glad you said that. So our culture, we have this need for gratification.
Instant.
Instant.
Thank you. Instant gratification. And so I would just say, with that being said, we sometimes we misspend and mishandle
Love.
our finances.
Mhm.
And so I can talk about me, and that's how I got in this. That's how I got in this place because of just kind of mishandling money. It wasn't that I wasn't making the money. Come on, we're blessed more so than the previous generations.
Mhm.
That's what I mean. For the most part, there's and we're in Kansas City, so there is a good median here for income to be made,
and
and
I
housing
agree.
is it's pretty decent. It's
It
not
used to
too
be.
expensive.
That little outrageous these days.
Well, it could be more because I think about the people on the East Coast and on these coasts, and that it is,
right.
So Midwest, if you look up all the different states, we are pretty still good on the list for affordable housing. It could be better, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. But for the most part, I think if you have a decent living, so budgeting, I think I'm gonna just throw some things out there. Budgeting, people don't budget,
I sure don't.
and we just kind of
Okay.
spend. And Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah. And it shouldn't be like that. So we should be
Right.
saving.
Yeah.
Each time, we should be saving something out of our paycheck.
Right.
Do not just pay all of your bills and don't have nothing saved to the side.
That's right.
And so that's one of the things, the savings, watching our spending and frivolous spending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And frivolous, I mean, I stopped at Taco Bell on the way here. Why? I have food at home. I could have ate before I came.
Right.
Just things like that. So,
yeah.
and those things add up because if you do that $8 a day times 5,
especially
Right.
when
that's $40.
Right. And you gotta eat now
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And you have kids.
Yes.
So I'm the type that was eating, trying to go out, and Lord, I can only imagine how much money I spent in just takeout.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
for
takeout.
real.
That's
You
true.
know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I get it, frivolous spending, and I gotta have me a caramel macchiato.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you.
See,
But you'll be proud.
tell me about it.
I got me a coffee maker
Okay.
for my birthday.
Come
on
And
now.
I stop going to McDonald's every day.
Yes.
Just when I can't make it at home.
Yes.
them
So that's
Saving
good.
them
I
up.
know.
Right.
Things like that. though.
Yeah.
Seriously, those are things that we can do within our control
Mhm.
to take control over our finances and our spending habits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have those savings. And then we have just goals. Do small goals at a time
Yeah.
that are attainable. And be honest with yourself.
Yes.
And if you need somebody to help you, have somebody step in and help you.
Right.
There are professionals for a reason in different areas of life because they have taken time to study or have experience that has taught them.
Right.
So they, they have that information for you. So, do that with your savings. Do the budgeting for sure.
Mhm.
So those are the things that I want to just kind of throw out there most part. Then after you do that, then you start working on paying certain debts off. Like let me talk about this on the credit.
Break it down, girl.
Let me talk about
Help
this because you have to have a
today.
goal. Let me tell you what I did when I first cleaned my credit, you guys.
Okay.
I ordered the reports for free. You can go to freeannualcreditreport.com. Okay, and you can get reports for free. And right now, because of the pandemic, they're offering it where you can get it I think weekly
Yeah.
or something. You can check on it quite regularly.
Yeah.
So what I did though was I printed that information off and I walked around with a list in my purse for 6 months, the same paper. And I began to highlight it as I paid things off and or disputed it off my credit. And I say and I put that out there openly because, as a consumer, you can dispute things on your credit report
Mhm.
and question the accuracy of it. If you find inaccurate information, that's the whole thing. It's all about using the laws on your behalf and finding inaccurate information. If that information is inaccurate, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you have the right to dispute that information for its complete accuracy on your report. So we do that. And that is how we are legally able to clean people's credit, is by using the laws that are put in place for consumers, but they know that we're lazy in our society.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we don't educate ourselves. And so I'm sorry, I'm not trying to give nobody a whooping, but I'm telling because I know because I've been there. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true. That's true.
And so we don't take the time, or we just keep putting it off because we frustrated, we depressed, we sad, we don't want to deal with it.
But when
And
you
so-
want to buy that car, though,
but yes, come
that's
on.
when it comes
The
back around,
motivation,
and you
yes.
looking, and then you looking kind of crazy when you walk up in there and they're like,
Yes, that part, or they want to give you an outrageous
Yes.
interest rate.
Yes.
Okay, APR, like she
Yes.
said, know these terms. Your annual percentage rate. That's what that means. And so they're charging you. So there's someone who will have good credit, and they'll pay $14,000 less for a vehicle.
Literally thousands.
And it's sad. But these systems in our country are set up so that people cannot get ahead,
That's right.
especially if they don't understand it.
Right.
But once you understand it, then you can rise above it. But patience. I want to go back to what we was talking about earlier. What did you say? You said
instant gratification.
Yes, we want that instant gratification. So you have to be patient. It might take
the credit process.
Yes, because
But
you.
I'm sorry, but it the frustrating part is that it don't take no time for you to mess up your credit.
Yes.
No time at all. But it takes forever to bring that boy
Yes.
back up.
Yes. And that's the part I want to tell you. So you can mess it up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You miss one payment, you can lose anywhere from 20 to 50 points for one missed payment.
Goodness.
Okay. So and that goes quickly because the highest score you can have is an 850. And so it takes over 10 years to have an 850 credit score of building your credit. Okay. So yeah. So that's why it's important to know this information and not to mess it up in the first place because it's going to take more time to repair it.
Right.
So about 50, I have the 840.
Come on.
So, yeah. And it might be that.
You know what? And you probably listen to this because we both go to City of Truth Church. It's so weird. I didn't even know we both went to the pandemic. How weird is that, right? But something, oh God, don't want me to leave it. Something that Pastor said. He said, you know, you won't always reap the harvest. Sometimes you just the seed.
Yes.
And that is how I have begun to start looking at my credit journey. Because even though, you know, you over you done, you know, did some things that messed up, but there still is a generation. My children are behind me, my lineage, my legacy.
Right.
So I don't, if I could get my credit right and put my kid on as a authorized user, all those things that will help them, then I'm going to do that. You know, maybe 50, I can't buy, like I tell them now, because my kids are 14 and 16, and I hate that I haven't, you know, when it bought them the house, where, you know, they don't have this big house, but
it's not too late.
It's not too late, but also in the event that, you know, I never got that, I could also set them up credit-wise to get those things so that they don't have to get it out the way, or they don't have to make mistakes to get the right things to do. You know what I'm saying? For them. So I like that you said that because it's like, okay, you know, it might take some time, but it still will be worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. It's worth it to do. And like she said, adding them as the authorized user, taking the time to build your credit and adding your children to it. And then making the right investments and moves so that they have residual income coming in. Absolutely. Life insurance. Like I say, I wear many hats. I'm going to throw life insurance out there. Okay. So I'm going to throw that out there. I at one time had 3 policies on myself alone. I only have one now, but at one time I did have 3. But it is important to have life insurance outside of your workplace. Yeah. And I put that out there because look at the times we're in. People are not guaranteed to be on this job forever.
That's right.
But you are getting older. And so if you don't have policies in place, it's going to increase in premium by the time you decide to have an insurance policy. But get them on your children, though. Get them when they're small, when they're born. And then when they turn 18, you can cash that policy out if you want to. Have them start a business. You understand what I'm saying? There's things that can be done. You know,
to get that financial wealth gap.
Absolutely. So, So these are the things that we want to talk about, that we want to educate our people about. And the financial education is free. I give free information out all the time on my page.
That's true.
Please just follow me and get the information.
One of them people who I can honestly say, you know, I don't mind giving you. I'm the same way too. Like if it's something that I know, even if it's in the field of what I know, I can still give you the information without feeling like it's going to shake or mess up or do anything. You know, like I'm pretty sure we all think the same. We consider it a blessing, or, you know, that blessing will come back. But where can they follow you to get this information that you are always giving so frequently?
Yes. So definitely on Facebook, it is Credit Sense. And it's like you have good sense, SENSE. Credit Repair is on there. It is a green and white logo. Looks like what you see here. Also on Instagram as well, we are Credit Sense Credit Repair on there as well. So just look us up on both of those, Instagram and Facebook, and we do have the tips and information. And then you can also Google us, and we do have a 5-star review. And call and look on on Thursdays. I give Credit Tip Thursdays. Just tune in. You can ask me anything you want about your credit or about credit overall, and I will answer that question for you. People, you know, all the way down to, you know, be detailed. People ask me serious questions. What kind of letters can they write? They want to know about different laws that they can use to dispute. Sometimes I'll give it to you. Sometimes I won't, because I did a lot of research. Okay. I put a lot of time in it, and I learned that when you give people things for free, they don't appreciate it.
Tell them.
It is what it is. You have to, some things you have to work for. That's why these things don't come easy, because you're not going to appreciate it. if you don't work for it.
That's true.
It just is.
That's
Look at the privilege that you see when people don't have to work for anything. Look how they operate.
That's right.
You know, and
That's
so
right.
that's why we have different personalities as our people.
Yeah.
We have a we just we're some good grounded folks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thank God for that. But that's the struggle, getting it out the mud.
That's right.
So yeah, it gives us a different understanding and appreciation and a you know, a go-to.
Right, to get it, okay, to literally go get it, because Lord knows, I mean, it's been a journey for me to even get to the point to where I would want to have good credit or, you know, to actually want to do anything in regards to that in a sense, but I can just, I see that the more and more like I pay attention to it, the more and more my children have appreciated for it. Like they talk about credit. You know, when we was young, we didn't know nothing about it.
Had no idea.
I didn't know nothing about credit till I was a freshman in college.
Me too.
Literally. Did not know what it was doing, that I was doing this or whatever have you. So
I think that's a failure too in the
Black
school system.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The education system is definitely there. Yeah.
Because they're not setting us up so much for life lessons.
And that's intentional. But I bet you our counterparts are setting their kids up for it.
That's right.
That's why they're getting cars at 16. That's a brand new 2019 Mustang, and their parents pay for it and their name on it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely get what you're saying though, because there's so many things that I feel like our educational system did not just tell us about life that we need to know. You know,
right? But we learn in calculus and stuff that we're never going to use on a daily day. Unless you're trying to be a rocket scientist or something in that type of field.
I would have took the credit. I would have took the credit class.
Yeah.
Right. I would take the exactly.
And I went through calculus.
Yeah. I think I took a check balance, a check. So this was the thing. So for us, it's our age, right? I remember taking like a check, like balancing a checkbook, right?
Yeah,
but now we have digital. We did not live in a time where there was like, you're going to be banking online.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything's digital. So you don't physically have it.
Do those
things. And so you just swiping. Okay. And so some people do this money. They have an envelope and they put their money in there.
Yeah.
Their budget, like everything you're going to spend. So this is your grocery envelope. Then you have a grocery envelope.
Yep.
This is your frivolous spending envelope. Then you have that too.
My grandmother used to do that.
You have those different envelopes. And once that envelope is empty, it's empty. You don't go into it in nothing else. And so we'll just keep swiping.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway.
I'm not gonna.
So discipline.
But
discipline.
That part.
Yeah.
So you definitely are. I like to call myself the same thing, a Jill of many trades.
Yeah.
You know, and nothing. That's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody. Some people are. I can. You know. I think I mastered probably typing. I don't know.
Okay. No, and night hyping.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think I mastered a few things.
Yeah.
But you're author.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about I Am Living Proof. And girl, to this day, I wish I could write a book.
You can. It's long to.
See, that's enough.
Okay.
That's off camera thing. So tell us a little bit about I Am Living Proof and what pushed you to write your story.
Yes. Okay. So as a little girl, I experienced some traumatic things, and I think we all have experienced our different forms of trauma, especially in the Black community. And we have to, it is unfortunate, we have to keep saying that, but it's important that we keep saying that.
Right.
Because they don't want to talk about our experience.
That's right.
They want us to suppress it, but they want to talk about the Jewish experience. They want to talk about other things that happened in history, but they don't want to talk about how, y'all know, that ain't what we're going to talk about, but that's why let me put that disclaimer out there, because as a whole, our culture has suffered some things. And so, and then within the subculture, we go through some things within our homes with alcoholism, abandonment, fathers missing out the home, neglect, sexual abuse, poverty. Yes. Then you have incest that they do not want to talk about when people who are molesting people in their families. Woo. So, and I'm sorry, I know I'm a hard hitter, and so I'm gonna go ahead and just come real quick. I'm gonna do some surgery, but then we're gonna sew it back up and get us all back together.
Come on, now let's go.
But so I experienced some of these things, right? And of course, it was supposed to deter me and break me down and make me crazy, make me in a nut house, you know, these different things. right?
From your purpose.
Hello.
Because it's a calling on your life.
Yes, but they didn't. And so I just kind of, ever since I was a little girl, I was always very optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay. And so optimism has just always been in me. And so I've always just kind of been this cheerleader. And I was always rejected, but I always still wanted to be accepted. Come on, somebody. And so it was, I just I would hide and shelter my greatness.
Right.
Because
because you're trying to be accepted.
Yes. And so but I was called to make other people know that they're great.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So why can't you do that?
So since I was called to make sure that everybody also knows that they're great, I just kind of have to come into that purpose, into that place. But I begin, and I am living proof to say that it does not matter what your past looks like. That does not have to keep you bound. It does not have to keep you bitter. It does not have to keep you broken. It just does not. It doesn't have that right or authority over your life. And so I kind of just, in there, I give the why. But then I also come back and I'm like, but God is how, like, I can continue to move on and progress forward. So I am living proof.
Yeah.
That it can be done, that you can be an entrepreneur, that you can be a dreamer, that you can be a go-getter, that you can get up and, just
a wife.
Yes. Be a wife
of God.
Yes. Thank you. So you can be whatever it is that you're supposed to be.
Thank you, Lord.
Whatever that is.
That's a message.
Okay.
That's a word.
And so I just kind of put that out there. And now there's some things and that's another thing too. We learn, we evolve. Every day we're evolving.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every day we're coming into the better and the next higher version of ourselves.
That's right.
And who you are today, you're not going to be her tomorrow.
Right.
Or him tomorrow.
Literally.
Yeah. And that's a good thing if you are growing the way that you should
be.
And so that takes a lot of self-identifying, a lot of talking to self, a lot of good people around you talking to you and about you.
You can be honest and transparent with, right?
Yes. And so I'm thankful because I'm me, because I have the type of people I have around me. Also, you are a reflection of those that are around you.
Right? They said the closest 5, I think.
So yeah.
Yes. I love it.
So thank you. That's I Am Living Proof. It is available. I can sign copies. It's on Amazon and Lulu.com. It is $19.99. It is my story. It's very intimate. It's very personal.
Did you self-publish?
I did self-publish.
Girl, you gotta go.
She's so dope.
I can do all things.
Yes.
That
For real. Like and I truly believe that. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. Are there going to be obstacles? Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be pressure? Are you going to want to give up? Absolutely. Okay. But keep going.
And I think that what helps also too, like the top 5 you was talking about, is those people in your circle, that help you push through.
Yes.
I love that. I appreciate my peoples.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Especially through this season. This past
man, I'm trying to tell you.
Jesus.
And, this change in our new normal.
It is, so I think you have like 3 different stages of people. We had the really overly cautious, right? Set of people.
Yes. Yes.
Super, just like, which was definitely me in the beginning.
Okay.
To the point you're changing your clothes
when
as soon as you come in, putting them in bags, ready to go sanitize, everything. Just washing hands nonstop. People probably got super dry hands right now. I don't know. But constantly, as soon as I'm in the car, sanitizer, I'm opening the door, I'm bringing wipes, I'm opening the doors with wipes. Just all. So you have that version. Okay. Then you have the next version of people where okay. I'm going to keep washing my hands. We already washed our hands.
Right.
And most of us in our community, I don't know about the other counterparts, but we washed our hands. Okay. So
that was so weird. I didn't tell people that.
And so it calmed it down some, and then we started being a little bit more, lenient. But then you have that group of people who was just absolutely lax, don't care, and it's a lot.
Man,
it is a lot because there are so many different perspectives, much misinformation.
That's right.
Then we know what we had going on in the Capitol and in our states and in our government. So then you have all of these different versions of things going on. But the reality is the numbers are going up and people are dying.
Right.
And so you just kind of go back to the drawing board and places like that. Like, okay, we're supposed to be home. And for me, because we are believers, I just kind of go back to what the word of God says and what the Bible says. And it tells us that these times will be here and how to prepare and how to be. Right. And so we're supposed to always trust in him. We're not supposed to trust in government or man anyway.
Right.
And so I just think it just go back. It's to draw us back to him.
To him. And I can honestly say that I definitely, you know, you go through Facebook and you go to your memories, and I go back to how last year started at this time, and I was so full of hope. And don't get me wrong, I can't even say I lost my hope, but it was different, and it definitely grounded me in my relationship with Christ. And I had to take a moment to really just get back to the basics of it. It was, you know, it became my own again. I couldn't depend on my pastor. I couldn't depend on, you know, my friends saying get up and go to church on Sunday. You know, it really became my own. And in the beginning, it was so lax in my intentionality of it that I was really suffering. You know, I was really suffering. Like, oh my God, everything's triggering me. I remember one time last year, I was like, I had to get off Facebook because, like, every time I would get on there, it was just something new that was just making me hate the world and hate people. So I truly believe that this is the time that God has shown himself to say, you can have these plans and you can have these ways, but the Lord and what I do and what I allow surpasses them all. You know, and I think I'll never forget 2020 for that. I think more than anything, like, okay, God, I'm just a little morsel here on this earth, a little ant. So whatever you might say, it's gonna be, and let that be, you know. That makes me think of only what you do for Christ will last. Okay. And so we find that. So then we have, so here's, now I'm putting on another hat. Sorry, here I go.
Let's go.
So then we had Goal Pusher that was birthed this past year. Where I started exercising, lost over 30 pounds, and I'm still on a weight loss journey. I'm just kind of pacing myself. I had took 7 classes last semester, finishing my degree. So with Goal Pusher though was the exercise, and so I brought that in is because of that balance. That you need. So that mental, that emotional, that spiritual, that physical, and financial balance.
Come on now.
And you see what you put on the end.
Put them all together.
Because my thing is, if it wouldn't have been for the careful orchestration of the Lord and what he set up for me to survive through this pandemic, I wouldn't have made it off my savings, off my credit. You know what I mean? And so it goes to show you. And I'm so intentional now about, oh God, please forgive me, because me and food, I ain't got that part down yet. I will spend some money now. This January. Now I will get $1 paper towels, and tissue. I will think through a clothes for myself. But let somebody say,
you'll ball out. But you'll ball out. That's me too.
You know what I'm saying? But it definitely it made me, now I can see how important that is. And of course now, you know, you want to do something, you know, so send me them checks. Biden and Harris, so I can put it back up with the rest of it.
Yes, absolutely.
So question, speaking of stimulus, what do you think? Well, I know that there's people out there that really need it, that they need to put it towards, you know, their mortgage and whatnot. But if you are able to hold on to that and do something righteous for yourself in the future, what are the best options you think would be to do with your stimulus?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things. I mentioned life insurance already. So you can pay your life insurance policy up for a year, okay, with that money, and still have money left over.
Come on.
Okay, you know, for the most part, depending on if you got 2,400 or 12 or whatever, but for the most part, you could probably have a life policy paid. And some companies offer discounts when you pay your policy off in full, where you might save more money. So I would pay certain things that you know you're going to need anyway. I would either do that and then that way you can pay yourself that monthly payment too, if you like to see it that way. These are 2 different ways. Sometimes it has to be a mind game with yourself. Okay. Or you can do it the other way around, where you just put it in the bank and only pay your bills and don't touch it.
Yeah.
So that'd be the part if you don't have that discipline. But I actually had an account somewhere else. But open up a Roth IRA, you guys.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Those are free. Go look it up. Get you a free Roth IRA. Open that up, or learn some stocks. Go get a CD.
Right.
You know, go ahead and make an investment, but put that money in the bank. I do believe in having multiple savings accounts. I also believe in little silly things that you might think is goofy, but like when you break your money down, like your 20s or whatever, you have those 5s left over.
Right.
Put them up.
Right. Right.
Put them 1s up. Do both. Do 5s and 1s.
I've been doing that for a few years now with my dimes.
Yes.
I put them all in the 2-liter.
Yes.
To see what happens, you know, after it fills all the way up. So, and so I will go to the bank and get like a roll of them and just throw them in there every 2 weeks.
Okay.
You know, just see what happens. Like, you never know, that could be saving up for the family trip, or that could be, you know, whatever times come, rainy day, we got that sitting right there, you know.
Speaking of rainy days, so a few years ago, and this is how I wound up really getting heavy into doing credit repair. We had to go through my savings. I did, and thankfully I did. I had a few months worth of money saved up, but we went through it. So it came a time that we did have to do and use it. So it's very important to have those savings for a rainy day. And it's unfortunate that we're in situations where we don't what we could be, because we have cable that's unnecessary. We have Jordans that is a ridiculous car note a month for a pair of shoes. I mean, so just things like that, you know. But the change savings, I love. That's dimes only in the 2-liter, $700, y'all.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Declutter. You can go through your house. You can sell things that you have in your home that you've never used. I know you got stuff in your house you've never used. So decluttering. These are ideas that you can use. Your gifts, your talents, whatever it is that you can do to make money, to increase and bring an additional income in. So there's so many different ways. Our people are creative. We're smart. We're intelligent. And we're gifted. You know, and so you have to use, and so that's another thing that 2020 taught, to bring you back to what you had just asked prior to this. So yeah, that was another thing, is I seen people getting creative. I seen people using their gifts and their talents.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Anything else you want to promote?
You know, no, you guys have been amazing. Oh, I guess so with the motivational speaking, that is really my gift, my goal, my calling. And since I overall want people's lives to be better, I'm going to talk about health. I'm going to talk about mental health, physical health, financial health, because I want us balanced. I want us whole. MarilynAshley Perry, I do have my own page for motivational speaking as well. I don't do as much on there, but I just kind of go for my regular page. But please follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I would love to just interact with you guys and engage with you.
Very, very, what's that word? Impersonal? Whatever.
Impersonable?
Yeah, sure. If you see her on the street, y'all, say hi to her. She loves to talk to people. She will not shy away from a conversation.
Yeah, that's funny. This is true. I do. I like to talk a whole lot. You got to tell me be quiet. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I always learned that, you know, it was a time and a place for everything, and I just never could get which one was the right one.
Hilarious. Nobody say that. Thank you so much for your time today and just sharing everything from your testimony into how you just triumphed through so many tests and actually giving back something that is worthwhile to us in our community. You know, episode 1, we just talked about Black excellence in music, but like you said, you just you see it everywhere now.
Right.
Like, you can't go, I think there's everything, a Black person does everything now. I mean, and that's going to sound weird maybe to some of our listeners, but there was a time when you couldn't find a Black credit repair.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. That's right.
So it's just, thank you so much once again for coming and celebrating everything that you do with us.
Yes.
And you can always find us on the Night Hype Show, which is NITEHYPE.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
we on those.
Okay, something like that. But anywho, thank you so much for listening. Welcome back once again, season 3.
Season 3, girl.
Episode 2. We bid you a deuce.
See you later. And make sure y'all subscribe, like, follow, subscribe.
YouTube too.
YouTube, holla at us. Spotify, all that. iHeartRadio, all them.
It's so freaking good.
Bye, y'all.